I am Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Let me tell you something. I could be tired as all get out, but that, my little intro, that it just give me a little bit of energy. Hey y'all. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Inspire on this Saturday morning. If you're coming in from the East Coast, thank you. If you're coming in from the West Coast, I know you love me, okay? Because it's mad early. It's early on the West Coast, and it's an hour behind in the Midwest. So thank you for joining me. I'm so excited about our conversation today, about our guest today. And so it's been some time coming, right? We tried to get Letrece on before, and the calendars just didn't connect. And I'm so happy that she is with us today. As you're coming in, I'm going to invite you to share with your family, share with your friends, share with your networks. Tell them to come on and have some conversation with Letrece Griffin. Before we do that, I'm saying hi to Instagram. If you see me, look over there. Instagram's over there. Thank you for joining us over on Instagram. If you have just stumbled upon this broadcast, you don't know who I am, what this is. I am Sue A. Webley. I am your host. I'm an author, producer, award-winning minister, and an entrepreneur, and I believe in the power of words, wisdom, and witness, and that's exactly what Inspire is all about. So each Saturday morning, we hold space for honest, soulful, often transformative conversations with guests from all walks of life. Entrepreneurs, artists, thought leaders, organizers, and everyday people who are living boldly and authentically. We explore topics that matter, from mental health and identity to faith, to business, justice, creativity, and healing. Whether we're spotlighting community leaders or celebrating personal triumphs, Inspire is rooted in the power of story and the belief that when we speak our truth, we light the way for others. We are live right now on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. And I want to invite you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. So if you've been following me on Cara Solutions LLC for the last couple of years, thank you so much. I am building up the Inspire with Sue W platform, so I'm going to invite you for the time that we are on the metaverse, okay, to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram and Inspire with Sue W. You can follow me at Sue A. Webley everywhere. And also, you can head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. There, you can find out all about the show. You can watch all of our previous episodes, and you can subscribe to our newsletter, because we don't want you to miss anything that's happening. We don't want you to miss anything that's coming up with Inspire. So head over to our website, www.getinspired.live. I see you coming in. Let me see what's it. Hey, Maya. Hey, my team, Maya. Hey, my love, Quita. Good morning to you. Jermaine, it is so good to see you. It's good to see you. Hey, Wanston. I see you coming in. Do me a favor and share. Now, y'all know if you've been with me for enough times, you know what I'm getting ready to ask you. Okay? I need to know what you're sipping on. What you got in your cup, y'all? Is it water? Is it tea? Is it orange juice? Apple juice? Is it something stronger? I'm not judging. Okay, tell me what is in your cup this morning, and tell me where you're watching from. Now, y'all know I got to put my Inspire Black Excellence. Okay, Black. It is Black National Black Business Month, also a National Wellness Month. But I'm Black 364 days of the year. Hey, Fergamo, iced tea, water. Come on, tell me what you're drinking and tell me where you are watching us from. Tell me where you're watching us from. So y'all know I always have coffee in my cup. It is decaf. Now I thank the Lord for the coffee bean and giving us the intelligence to put some hot water on that thing and mix it with some milk or some sugar. But the caffeine is not, while I love it, it doesn't love me. So I'm drinking decaf coffee. And in the past, some of y'all have come for me because they're saying decaf coffee is not real coffee. It's real to me. It is real to me. Okay. All right. You're watching for the living room. I love us watching for the living room. All right. Let's go forward. Before we get into our conversation today, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something that's happening right now that impacts many of us, especially those of us who are Black entrepreneurs. So I don't know if you've heard, but in Tennessee, lawmakers dismantled the minority and women business enterprise programs. And so those are the programs that are designed to ensure that Black and women-owned businesses have had a fair shot at government contracts and resources. And so overnight, decades of progress in leveling the playing field were rolled back. And it's not just Tennessee, right? So if you watch the news, if you watch social media, you know that across the country, we're seeing things roll back. We're seeing shifts in policy that make it harder and not easier for Black entrepreneurs to access capital, to compete for contracts, or to receive the support we need to thrive. And so the playing field really, y'all, was never even meant for us to begin with. And so as a Black entrepreneur myself, I can tell you this isn't about, we know it's not just about business, right? Okay. It's about dignity, it's about equity, it's about the right to build something that lasts, to create jobs for others, to take care of ourselves, to take care of our families, to take care of our communities. And so moves like this, we already know, widen the gap in an already uneven playing field. But here's what I know about us. Our power, y'all, is unmatched. From backroom kitchens turned into catering businesses, to living rooms turned into beauty salons, to tech startups built with nothing but faith and community, we have always found a way. And today's guest is proof of that kind of brilliance. Letrece Griffin has spent more than 20 years elevating voices, building brands, and creating space for creativity and truth. She's an author, strategist, a documentary producer, and above all, a storyteller. And today she's here to pour into us. So I want to invite all of you to grab your notebook, grab a pen, grab your cup, and let's lean in and let's get ready to meet our guest today.
Marketing and communications is my life work. That's what I've been doing since I graduated from Loyola. And what I always like to say is that marketing are the messages that you put out about yourself. That's how you advertise. Publicity is like your media coverage. So let's say the event here today, if the news came out and shot footage of us, all these small business owners being here today, and they did a story on the 6 o'clock news about how all these wonderful people came together, that's publicity for Kim. Now, if you talk about market research, which is extremely important, through that market research, you should have found all these great demographic information. You should have found out how they spend, what they spend, what channels they're using to do that. And when I say channels, I'm talking about the different ways that a message can be sent out. You here are either business owners, or you're aspiring to be, or your small business, wherever you're at in your platform. You probably have a personal Facebook or Instagram page, but that shouldn't be your business page. You literally need to tell your customer what you want them to do. Every single product that you put out, every single representation of who you are and who your business is, those are things that are building. So if I wanted to reach my should I use? The radio or what? The newspaper. Absolutely. So that market research is helping you figure out your spending trends of your audience and finding out what channels. Gumbo is a slow process. It's a slow process. Same thing with your brand. It's not built overnight. It is a slow process, but it is worth it in the end, right? That's important about your brand. People have an emotional response to your brand. And that doesn't come overnight. That comes from those little pieces. That's all in our gumbo. That cooks together to form our...
Good morning, Letrece.
Good morning. Hello.
Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us on this Saturday morning on Inspire.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Before we get into our conversation, I'm going to ask you what I've asked everybody else. You got something in your cup this morning?
So I am trying to get my greens in. I'm drinking my chlorophyll.
Okay.
So, yes. So that's what I'm sipping on.
Okay. And how often for the chlorophyll, is it just once a day? Or
once a day.
Do you sip it throughout the day? Okay, once a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had it once. It's almost like not a mint tea. It has a liquid. It's like a mint tea.
So the kind that I use, the drop that I use it's a crisp apple flavor. So so it has kind of a little sweetness to it. So that helps. But yeah, so it's once a day. So I try to do it in the morning, one and done, get it out the way.
Yeah. I remember many years ago, I tried to drink it and it didn't have that extra sweetness. Not at all.
Right. Yeah. If it didn't have that sweetness, I wouldn't be able to rock with it either. So I get
it. So once again, thank you for joining us. So we're going to kick off, of course, the show's name is Inspire, right? And so we talk a lot on Inspire about the thing that fuels us. So who or what inspires you the most right now in your work and in your life?
So this is a great question. And I love that you put right now. So because in different phases in my life, different times, different people provide me different inspiration for different reasons. Right now, where I'm at in my life, I have to give a huge shout out to Kev on Stage. He has been inspiring me the most currently. Just a little backstory. I've known Kevin back when he was just Kevin Fredericks doing church comedy. He hadn't built his amazing platform that he has now just yet. And to see how he's elevated himself, his brand, he has this beautiful, amazing family. And I love how transparent he is in his platforms as far as his successes, but also his failures and what he's learned from those and how he can overcome that and still spin it in a way that can be advantageous for him. So right now he is, who I look to daily, just, he's not even trying necessarily. He's just being himself. But I've garnered inspiration from that.
Wonderful. Hey, Kev. I'm trying to get you on the show. So, hey, Kev. Thank you for sharing that. So, you have a really thick resume. Okay. You've been doing this thing over 20 years in marketing and communications. You're a full-time entrepreneur. Can you tell us first how you got into the field of marketing and communications?
Sure. So, I would say I kind of landed into the field in the sense of I come from a family of musicians and artists. And growing up, it was always a gig, performance, something, happening for my family members. And as I got older, specifically when I was starting college, they would be like, oh, I got a show at this venue or this venue. And I'd be like, well, where's your contract? What's happening with it? Like, how the money getting split? And, what's happening there? And that's kind of what got me interested in the field, because I was like, how are y'all promoting the show? Who's doing the press kit? Who's doing the photos? Like, those sort of things were interesting to me. And so I was, blessed enough to have firsthand experience out of the gate. So things that I was learning literally during the day, I was implementing at night with my family members, as far as, doing press kits and press releases and media kits. And even like I said, the business side of the show business, as far as contract negotiations and and door splits and all that kind of stuff. I was, working in real time of doing those things. So that's, what got me interested in the field. I was definitely more interested in the back end of it. Like I said, as far as like how are things getting promoted, how are people, finding out about these events and things. And that's what got me started.
Wonderful. So I show business. You have a little talent. Do you sing? What do you do?
So even though I come from a family of musicians, I do not play one instrument. My dad tried to get me to take piano lessons, and it didn't click for me. But I can hold down some good strong background vocals. You need some background
Alto, soprano, what?
soprano.
Yeah, come on, soprano. So I'm not gonna put you in front and ask you to sing something.
I wouldn't even do it to myself. Like I said, I wouldn't even do it to myself. I have too many strong singers in my family to try to play myself like that. So like I leave that to the professionals.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
So you've woven, I'm sure, in your career over the last 20 plus years, right? Um, you've woven this storytelling and branding into kind of like community outreach, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So can you share with us one campaign that you've led that still gives you goosebumps when you think about its impact?
Sure. As I think back on, the many campaigns and initiatives that I've worked on, I'd say probably the campaign that brings me the most joy and goosebumps thinking back on it. I used to be the marketing manager for a casino in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and a crazy idea that I had. I'm calling it crazy, but it was God. Um, he was like, "You should do a gospel concert series in the atrium of this event center at this casino." And of course, when I tried to pitch this idea, everyone was like, "Gospel in a casino? What you been drinking? Like, what's like this is not gonna gel." And I was like, "I promise you, it will work." Um, for one, people are looking for event experiences, but also for me, I wanted to bring gospel to an arena, like outside of the four walls of the church. Like I wanted to bring this experience and this opportunity to people who may have never heard, this gospel music before. And so if they're just walking through the atrium and they hear this music, they hear this message, how can it entice them and bring them to know God in a different way? And so the series actually ended up being a tremendous success. Like we would hold it on Sundays. It would be like a Sunday brunch slash gospel concert. And every week that we had it, it was sold out. The series lasted for over a year.
Wow.
It was amazing. But to weave in the storytelling element of it, um, what I tried to do when curating the events was bringing together a national artist with a local artist, and that's was the lineup that we would have. And so being able to tell the story of, personal triumph, personal struggle, championing um, what motivates and fuels you and how to bring a community together. And so it was really great to see people from different walks of life come together. Some came for the food. Like I said, it was brunch. It was brunch and gospel. Some came for the gospel. Some came, for the mixture of both and for the fellowship. But to bring these different people from all of these different walks of life together, it was a beautiful thing to see in our city. And that still brings me a lot of joy, and people still ask me about those concerts, like when are they coming back, what are you doing next? But so it's wonderful to know that it was an impact on people.
Yeah. I love when we take things out of the four walls of the church, right?
Mhm.
I love
Yep.
when we take things into community, and I love when we present it in a way that is unconventional, but it works, right?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I'm a house head, and so when they started doing gospel house, like it was the best of both worlds for me. And the first time I felt God's presence was in the club.
That's real.
Okay, so
Hmm.
I shall not be moved, child, like a tree planted.
I love it. I love it. It's like provide the opportunity for God to meet people where they are,
Yeah, yeah,
and a lot of times if, us as individuals, it's not about, being a Bible thumper or like, hitting somebody over the head. It's about just providing space and opportunity for God to move in however, he sees fit. And a lot of times that's just, being our authentic selves and giving these opportunities for people.
yeah. This authentic, personal relationship that many of us talk about, but of course, the church wants you to assimilate. I always say, we're not the Borg, okay?
Right.
We don't all experience the divine in the same way, and the way that the divine speaks through us, uses us is totally different, and that's the beauty of diversity, right? That's the beauty of
Absolutely.
how the divine has created us. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you for sharing. If you are
Absolutely.
just joining us, yes, if you're just joining us, we are in conversation with Letrece Griffin. If you have a question or a comment, please be sure to put that in the chat, and we'll be sure to make sure that she has the opportunity to respond to those before we end our time together today. I apologize for cutting you off. What were you going to say, Latrice?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you wholeheartedly. I come, I always say I'm PK adjacent because like I have uncles and cousins who are pastors. My dad was like a head deacon, my mom is a deacon, a deaconess, I should say, and my grandmother is Eastern Star, like all those things. And so I get the tradition of the church, but I feel it's important to make sure that we are adapting and meeting people where they are.
Yes.
Um, and so that drives the authenticity piece.
Yeah. We can have a whole series just on that. We could
Right.
talk, we could wax poetic just on that. That's so important to have
Yeah.
those types of conversations. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for sharing. So you have many gifts, right? You have many gifts. You're not just a communicator, you're a creator. You're an author, documentaries, you've done these live events. And I'm sure people might look at you like, well, how the heck does she do all of that, right? How do you keep those creative juices flowing across so many different formats?
So that's a good question. I mean, the way that I keep motivated and keep, the creative juices flowing is to just make sure that I'm doing work that I am sincerely passionate about. Um, you see, I'm rocking my Spike Lee "Do the Right Thing" shirt today. um, so, not to plug his film, but it's in my head. His new movie "Highest to Lowest" came out yesterday, and I saw it. And the one of the themes of the film is all money ain't good money, and that's something right, right. So that's something that I've always genuinely believed. So in the clients that I accept, the type of work or consulting projects that I agree to take on, or even if it's in a full-time employment capacity, I have to be aligned with the organization's mission and vision. Like I have to genuinely be passionate about it.
Yeah,
And they may be paying me, X amount of dollars that's above or beyond that I may have asked for, but all money ain't good money. So just because someone is offering to pay me to render a service doesn't mean that it's the right fit for me.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's what keeps my creativity going, and that's what keeps my integrity and my passion going is, really just only connecting myself to people and to projects that I'm genuinely excited about, that I genuinely want to see thrive. And so, that's kind of also what brought about the variety in the work that I do is, if I come across someone who's like, oh, I have this idea for a film, I have this idea for a documentary. I'm like, that's dope. Like, let me see how I can help support that, or if it's artist management, or if it's live events, or, the writing of books, or helping people produce or publish their books, So it's me being genuinely excited about the work is
yeah.
what keeps it going.
And that's so very important because we don't want to do things that feel like it, it is work, but we want it to feel
Mhm.
like a job, right? We don't
That's
want to
right.
feel obligated to do things. And I love that you brought up that all money ain't good money, right?
Mhm.
And that was
Mhm.
one of the things that was hard for me in the beginning as a baby entrepreneur. Right now, you're just
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you're trying to get paid, this and that, but it's not. I have had to fire clients because, yeah, it's not worth it. It's
Yeah.
not worth my peace. If I'm stressed, yeah, 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 it's
You
not.
got
It's
it.
not worth it.
You got it. Like I've been in the same boat where it's like, I love you from afar, but we just, it's not going to connect. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Wishing them the best from afar, but as far as us working together, you have to, like you said, protect your peace. You have to be able to, you know, be with clients and projects that you genuinely align with. And I think once you do that, that makes the work not so tedious. So you may be up all hours of the night, but you don't feel drained. Your
Yeah.
body may be tired. My uncle used to say, you can get tired in it, just don't get tired of it.
That's
Um,
good.
and he was a preacher child. I'm telling you, like he used to drop those, he used to drop those gems, and that's something that I've carried with me. I can get tired in the work. That's the physicality of it. But as long as
Mhm.
I'm not tired of the work, I'm still operating in my purpose and my passion.
I love it. So I need to put this right here for Uncle.
Yes,
Need to pass the offer plate.
right,
I
right.
love. Listen, we need that on the t-shirt. Okay, we need that on the t-shirt. I want to acknowledge some of you who are coming in. I say, hey, Bishop Bonnie, thank you for joining us. You are drinking your French vanilla coffee. Yes, it's your gift to this earth, your creativity, and dedicated to that gift in the spirit. You'll know. Yeah. Jermaine says, come on, sis, all money ain't good money. Yes, they are agreeing with you. They're agreeing with you.
Yeah.
So this is such a good conversation. All right. I know this is one that we'll revisit and many times because it is even where I am now, 5 years, I'm still a baby as an entrepreneur, kind of, 5 years in. I started my
Mhm.
business during COVID,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so there's still things that I need to learn,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know there's entrepreneurs that's hanging out on here now that have some things to learn. So I'm grateful for your wisdom and for the gems that you're dropping because they're certainly helping all of us. So thank
Of
you,
course.
Patrice.
You're
So
very
I
welcome.
talked about, yeah, I talked about earlier Tennessee, the things that are happening, right, with these
Mhm.
policies. That's really taken us backward, when it comes to equity. And so, as someone deeply connected to Black business and creativity, how do you see these policies, this legislative climate, the political climate? How do you see that impacting Black entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so unless you've been on a rock, we've all heard the stories and read about the decline in DEI and federal funding, supporting HBCUs and various, different agencies that support minority businesses. And of course, I think that we're going to go through a trying time before we get to the triumph. So I genuinely believe, that we have to be resilient and stick it out. So I think back to, some of the civil rights struggles of our past where we were able to make lemonade out of lemons, so from the disenfranchisement, from the segregation, from the different struggles, we were able to galvanize together and to create, we your coffee mug, says Black excellence. We were able to create, these entities and these spaces for Black excellence. We think about the Harlem Renaissance, we think about all of these different movements, but it came out of struggle and it came out of a sense of we got to do this for ourselves, y'all. Like, because the government's not going to come and save us. The political climate that we're living in now is not going to help us. So that would be, my take on it is that we do have to kind of ride out this wave, but in riding out the wave, we have to come together and support each other and create these spaces, these hubs where our artistry, our work is still being put out, and we're still being able to be celebrated and to be supportive of one another.
Yeah. It's so important for us to remember anyway, that we have what we need inside of us, right?
Yes.
And so we have to go back and pick up that village, that village mentality. We all take care of each other. I said last week we got to bring like the susus back and all of that stuff. We take care
Yeah,
of each other. We know how to feed each other. We
yeah,
know
we
how
do.
to, we know how to make it. So this is,
Mhm.
some of us are just really unbothered because I'm like, yeah, we've been through this before. We've been through, we know how to. I
Mhm.
mean, we have the blood of our ancestors in our veins, right?
Yes.
So we have that strength, we have that power that's like already inside of us, and we know how to make it while everybody else is losing their mind.
Right. Right. We have a resiliency and a tenacity in our veins.
Yeah,
And we thrive on that, it's something that we have been blessed with, we everything that was made to suppress us, to bring us down, we've risen above that. And we have that faith, that resilience, that hope, that's just, it doesn't matter, how hard the struggle may be, we're gonna find a way. We're gonna
yeah,
find a way. And that's the beauty of who we are.
yeah. Thank you so much. So let's talk about your books. So you have two books,
Mhm.
the G Code and the Right Way.
Mhm.
And so these give people tools for branding, and of course self love. Can you tell us a little bit about those books, and how do you see that business building and self love and self confidence feeding into each other?
Yes. So I've authored two books, and the first was The Right Way, a 21-day interactive journey to self-love and awareness. And that book spawned out of me trying to find this self-love, trying to find um what people mean when they say that, and how what that looked like for myself. It was came off the heels of the death of my father. I'm a daddy's girl, so that was a big, hit for me. And so trying to figure out, who I was and what that looked like, and finding that place of peace again after going through the grief. And so the book is set up as a journal and a devotional. So in the book, there is literally 21 chapters. And after each devotional piece, there is space in the book for you. You're given a writing prompt, and you're given space in the book to actually journal and write based off of those 21 prompts that you're given. And with each prompt, you're exploring these different elements of self-love, like, what do you enjoy, what do you not like, what are things that motivate you, what are things that push or challenge you. But they're all surrounded around things that have happened in my life. So I share about my struggles, my upbringings, my victories, things that I've pulled from to help me get to a place of genuine authenticity and self-love. And so it's a great book for people who of all ages, really. I've done workshops with this book for teens, but also for adults and business owners as well. Because when we think about starting businesses, operating in entrepreneurship, it's important to not get so lost in our work that we lose who we are. And
Yes.
so the book talks about that, and it talks about helping you to carve out time in your schedule to do the things that re-energize and remotivate you, so to keep you going on your entrepreneurial track. So that's really, really important. The G Code is about keys to marketing and branding. Like I said, I've taken my 20 plus, kind of telling my age, but my 20 plus year career, um, and giving what I feel are the most important things to get you started. Like, I like to think of it as like a starter guide,
Yeah.
to help people navigate not only like terms and lingo, but also if you're thinking about, budgeting, thinking about, the different platforms that are available to us now and how can
Mm-hmm.
we utilize those spaces. So the book really breaks all of those things down for you in tangible ways, and is giving you practical examples of how to walk that out. So, you can literally read that book and implement things immediately because
Wow.
it's giving you not just information, but tangible examples of how to get your website going, how to get your streaming service going, how to get your social media platform. So it's all aligned there for you.
Wow, wow, wow. And where can we find it? I was looking at your website and see like a, a specific place. Where can we find the books?
Yes, so my books are available on my website, latreceg.com, but they're also on Amazon. So if if you're an Amazon person, if you Google or Amazon my name, Letrece Griffin, the books will show up there for you. I appreciate and love the support and love to hear feedback as well. The actual G Code book is a two-part series. There's the G Code and then there's the G Code workbook. And
Mm-hmm.
the workbook came out of hearing feedback from people where they were like, you have given us some great foundational elements, but we want to really work this out even more. So I was like, you know what, let me, give people a workbook that they can actually, work out. Like I give them example of press releases and examples of like LinkedIn content and different elements that they can actually practice with and work out. So I love to hear the feedback and I love to hear how I can further support people.
Wonderful. And so I'll put you on the spot. Would you be willing to give away a copy of either one of those books today?
Of course I would. Of course I would. I will be happy to do one for both. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's two drawings. So y'all know how we do. If you want a copy of the book, you want to win a copy, just put the hashtag inspire. Put hashtag inspire, and we will certainly work on giving away a copy of that book. Thank you so much. We're going to take a really quick break to do some housekeeping, and we'll be back with more conversation with the amazing Letrece. Hey, also, thank you again for joining us today. I want to invite you again to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Inspired with Sue W, or you can find me at Sue A. Webley everywhere, right? Sue A. Webley everywhere. You can also head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. You can view all of our previous episodes, learn a little bit more about the show, and also subscribe. Subscribe to our newsletter. We don't want you to miss anything that's going on with Inspire. And so we want to stay connected to you. We want to stay connected to you. So go ahead and subscribe. Are you or someone you know on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same? Well, we want to hear from you. We want you to join us in conversation on a future episode. Again, you can visit our website, www.getinspired.live, to book your appearance today. You can book it right on our site, y'all. You do the intake that's on our site. Click the tab, Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest. You can fill that out. And alternatively, if you want to submit someone else to be on Inspire, you can do the same thing, put their information in, and a member of our team will get back to them. Now we do this every Saturday, every time we're live. We are gonna do this until Yanni gets a kidney. Okay, so our sibling in community. Some of you know her as Pastor Yanni, Reverend Yanni, the Peace Pastor. However you know her, she needs a kidney. She needs a kidney donor. So she's in search of potential donors who are fairly healthy, have the blood types A or O, and the courage to commit to surgery and help save her life. And she would love to share the safety measures with you. Alternatively, if you know of an organization, if you know of a resource, if you know of a connection that she can get connected to, let us know. Let us know so that we can send her that information. I believe that we have the power in this community to be able to help her get what she needs. And so let's do this together. You can email her and her family at peacepeopleinc at gmail.com, or you can head over to emorylivingdonor.org, emorylivingdonor.org, fill out the survey, and enter her name, Ayana Davis. So let's do this thing together. We are going to get back in some more conversation with Letrece Griffin. Welcome back, Letrece. Welcome back. Thank you so much again for being on Inspire, hanging out with us. You have been dropping words of wisdom, and we are incredibly blessed by your presence here today. And I see the people, listen, the people are putting in hashtag inspired for this book.
Yes. Keep putting
Elder
the hashtags in.
Trevor! It's so good to see you on. Yeah. Come on, put inspire, hashtag inspire, so that you can win a copy, or be including Jordan to win a copy of the book. We'll do that drawing at the end. So don't leave, don't go anywhere, right? Because we want to know who's gonna win. The two people who's gonna win. All right. So it is National Wellness Month, as I stated earlier. And I know like many of us, we're really kind of juggling a lot. And again, so you wear all of these hats, right? Leader, author, entrepreneur. What would you say is your primary go-to practice for staying centered and inspired through it all? Uh-oh, we lost you. We lost your audio. There you are.
Am I back? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So yes, my primary go-to practice is I mentioned about coming from a family of musicians. Music is so intrinsic and important to me. So every day, like I have a motivation playlist, and it's filled with songs just inspire me. They motivate me. They get my energy going and get me feeling, in the groove to really, get things done. And so I make sure that I listen to something from that every day to keep me inspired. But also, of course, my faith. We've talked about that is a huge part of what helps to keep me grounded, keep me centered, help me to remember that as chaotic as things may be, it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
And to help, keep my focus on that. So those are the two things that just help me on a daily basis to stay centered and to make sure that I'm not getting overwhelmed by, how life try to like you sometimes.
Life be life, and sometimes, yeah. And so it's certainly important to have something that you can lean on, right? So whether that's your faith, whether whatever it is, you need something to lean on. You need somewhere to put things, right? You
Right.
need a soft place to land. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
thank you. So you're also a mentor, right? You don't just hold all these things to yourself. You give it
Right.
out, right? So you mentor and you host spaces for others. And so when you're pouring into emerging creatives, uh, how do you make sure that self-care and mental wellness is a part of that conversation for them?
Yes. So I try to make sure that I'm emphasizing not just the business acumen, as far as, these are things that you're going to need.
Oh, we lost you again. It's all right. Listen, we're gonna work until we get it.
Okay, so I don't know why it keeps disconnecting the audio. I apologize about that. Um, but I was saying it's important to not just make sure the business acumen side is there, but I also make sure to emphasize the importance of, your mental and your physical health, because you cannot be an outstanding entrepreneur, influencer, whatever your bag is, if you're broken, if you're not being the best version of yourself that you can be. So that means carving out time for yourself, you know, Even it's the little things, like what's your guilty pleasure show that you want to watch, once a week. Mine is
See, well, listen, no, wait, we need to hear that because your mic just went out. We want to hear that guilty pleasure show. That show.
oh my gosh, did it come back? Okay, yes, my guilty pleasure show is Love After Lockup. Yes, that's my guilty pleasure show. If it's doing a spa day, if it's going to the movies, like actually going to a theater, it could be those small things, but it can also be the bigger things as far as taking time off. You're vacationing, even if it's a staycation, but making sure that you're having some type of balance for yourself.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
no
think that
yes.
yeah, just because like so you cannot be the best version of yourself if you aren't filled, if you're not, you can only give so much and then you don't have anything left to give.
Yeah. I was about to say, and you alluded to it, that we can't pour from an empty cup, right? And I'm a firm believer that God does not desire for us to give ourselves into a deficit.
Amen to
Okay,
that. You're
because
right.
yeah, we need to have something stored up for ourselves so that we can keep doing whatever we believe that we've been called to do on the earth. So thank you so much for sharing that. So let's talk about your younger self, right? With all
Yes.
that you've accomplished, when you look back over your life, right? If you could sit down with your younger self, what's one piece of advice that you would give her?
I would give my younger self the advice of, I would say, stop worrying so much about other people's perception of you. Um,
Oh, it went out again. It is all right. It is okay. What you have to say is important, so we will sit here until until it comes back. Listen, we want to hear what you have to say. Now, do you want to go out and come back in? Yeah, let's try that. Yeah. Hey, y'all. So listen. Technology is not a perfect science, and I believe that Letrece has some really important things to say to us before she leaves us today. So please hang out. Don't leave. Don't go away. But until she comes back, um, let me ask you that question. What would you say to your younger self? Right? If you think about all of the things that you've done and you've been able to do, think about all of your successes, all of your challenges. What would you say to your younger self? Yeah, she is. What would you say to your younger self? What word of advice would you give your younger self? Put that in the chat. Put that in the chat for me. Jermaine said the sister is dropping some true nuggets. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And so we're so grateful for her. What would you tell your younger self, y'all? Put that in the chat. Put
okay,
that
are
in the
we
chat
good?
for me and I'll read some. I asked them that same question, but go ahead.
Okay, so I apologize about that. But yes, I would tell young Latrice to not be so concerned about other people's perception of her. It took me a long time to get to a space where I was like, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. You do you, and be comfortable in that. And when I did finally get to that space, that's when things really started clicking for me in a great way. I was achieving so much more because I was being authentic to myself. And so that's the advice that I would give her.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. Uh, I asked that same question to the audience. So if you would say, give advice to your younger self, go ahead and drop that in the chat so I could read some of them on the air. Thank you for sharing again, Latrice. So again, this is National Black Business Month, right? And so
Mhm.
legacy is front and center. And with all that you do, what legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of Black creatives and communicators?
The legacy that I would hope to leave would be that um, I gave the best of myself in not only, service to others, but service to God.
Mm,
Um, I believe that as long as you're operating in your purpose and your passion, you are giving service to others and you're giving service to God because you're aligning and working um, with what God has gifted you with.
mhm.
Um, and so I would hope that my legacy is one of authenticity and integrity.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, know my self worth and don't allow someone else to diminish my worth. Yes, yes. Talk to your younger self in the chat. Talk to your younger self in the chat. That's so vitally important. Again, we're hanging out with Letrece Griffin. If you want a copy, she's giving away copies of her books. Right, so one for each person. So we have two winners today. If you want to be in the running, please put hashtag inspire. Hashtag inspire. I see my sister is here. Hey, sis. Thank you. My sis Allison. Thank you for joining us today. Joy. Let's talk about joy, Latrice.
Yes, yes.
Life is more than our titles. Life is more than the things that we do.
Hmm.
What brings you the most joy in your everyday life?
In my everyday life, my nieces give me the most joy. I have a 13-year-old and a almost 11-year-old. She'll tell you I'm almost 11. Um, year old nieces, and they are just everything. Being able to um, see life through their eyes and how they're experiencing things, but also, especially the ages that they are now, they're so impressionable. And, to have conversations with them where they're able to articulate to me, like, wow, they call me Teatrice. And so, they're like, wow, Teatrice, you know, you've done this and you're doing that. And how are you able to juggle that? And help me figure out how to do, X, Y, and Z. And so to, know that I am someone in their lives that, they can look to for not only, inspiration, but, just, the great, auntie vibes that you're able to provide for them. But it brings me so much joy to be able to have that in my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. It's been such a joy to have you hanging out with us today. And so we thank you for pouring into us today. Right. And I already know that you've caught some gems, y'all who are watching and will catch us in the replay. You caught some gems. And if you caught them, I pray that you hold them close, right? That you don't drop those gems. Latrice, tell the people where to find you. How can they find you on social media?
Yes. So all of my
Oh, it went out again. It is all right. All right. So I said, be proud of who you are and know you are enough. I'm reading some of the comments of what they would tell their younger selves. Jermaine says, I would tell younger Jermaine, it's okay to be exactly who you are. The dreamer, the blurred, the big kid, the queer being. Thank you so much for
oh,
sharing that.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, thank you all for sharing, your inner thoughts as well. I appreciate hearing those. But yes, everyone, all of my social media accounts are at Letrece G. So LETRECE G. So that's all Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things. Then, of course, my website as well, latreceg.com. But I will say, with the devil is a liar and he a hater for trying to mess with the audio to try to stop this good information and interacting with you guys. But we rise above.
Yes, yes. I put that link inside of the chat. So please go over. Please visit Letrece's site. Get some wisdom, y'all. Get some wisdom. Let it bless you. Let it bless you. So don't let that link go to waste. Go ahead and visit her website and see everything that she is doing. If you had a question that we did not get a chance to talk about today, feel free to put it in the chat afterwards, and I will send them to Letrece for her to respond to them. Yes, Chuck Hunt, it's good to see. Mental health concerns is truly a concern in these times of social unrest. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we have a giveaway. All right, let me put this. All right, we have a giveaway. I want to give you time to put the hashtag inspire. Put the hashtag inspire. You got 4 entries. Put the hashtag inspire. There could only be 2 winners today. Go ahead and put hashtag inspire if you want to win a copy of Letrece's book. All right, let's look for who's our first winner. Letrece, you are the first winner. Thank you so much for joining our drawing today. Please do me a favor. You do have my email address, but you can send me your address. Send me your address, your contact information, so that I can get it to Letrece for her to be able to send you your book. So thank you again for joining us, Tressa. One more winner. One more winner. Bishop Bonnie, thank you so much. Thank you for joining our drawing today. Do me a favor, inbox me your address, email me your address so I could get that over to Letrece for her to be able to send you a copy of her book. And thank you for your generosity, Letrece, in doing that for us. Even though I did not accept before we got on live, but I was just like, well, let me try. Let me try.
Hey, what's that? You have not because you ask not.
Right. Again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for dropping those gems. Thank you for imparting your wisdom. Thank you for pouring into us today. And those of you who are watching, if this conversation inspired you, support a Black-owned business. Support a Black entrepreneur this week. Take care of your wellness, right? Lean into self-care this week. Until next time, you know what I'm going to say. I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated. But most of all, I want you to stay inspired. See you all next week.